Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of We Are the Ohana Packers Edition podcast. I am Iowa Joe, and I'm all by myself. Mike is still under the weather, so I'm going to try to stumble my way through a preview of the upcoming divisional game between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. This is the beginning of a long stretch of rivalry games to finish out the season, and the Packers have to be better than what they've been against in previous games. The Vikings, while still aren't the greatest team in the world, are going to play a lot harder because it is a rivalry game. This one, I believe, it is at Lambeau Field, so it is a home game. So that'll give the Vikings an even more bigger thing to play for to take down the Packers in the Packers' home stadium. So while the win against the Giants was a good win to get your self-confidence back that you can go out and be a good team, they are going to have to the offense is going to have to step up and be better because the Vikings do have a relatively good defense. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in like we would on a normal episode and talk about the injury report.
Excuse me! I'm in need of medical attention!
So, on the Packers side of things, this is a laundry list of injuries listed. It kind of reminds you of a Walgreens or CVS receipt. So, like Mike normally does, he'll break down the DNPs that did not practice as first, and those will be Carl Brooks with an ankle, Nate Hobbs with a knee, Josh Jacobs with his knee, Quay with his neck, and Savion with a foot. Now, I guess I really didn't pay attention to it, so I don't know, but a lot of people are saying that Savion was in a walking boot leading all the way up to game time, so there's something to be of concern a little bit, because if he's dealing with an issue but still can play limitedly, what is it? Could it be a plantar fasciitis type thing where he can play through it, but it's not going to be the most comfortable thing in the world to do it, or they can use some orthotics uh, in his cleats to kind of help him out there. Quay went out with the stinger. Hopefully that's not going to be this is just kind of a cautious thing for them, hopefully, but you never know when you're dealing with a neck. Jacobs and Hobbs, we both know about the knee issue, or we know about the knee issues with both of those guys. Jacobs, you're hoping he can. I believe LaFleur said that, and other reports have said that Jacobs is not any kind of structural damage. So hopefully he is just on some rest for the week and is a good to go for Sunday. Hobbs is still dealing with his knee injury. They said it could be a couple weeks. A lot will be said if he starts practicing Thursday and Friday. Obviously, this comes out Thursday before we can actually get into before we know what goes on at practice. So we don't know if he's practiced yet or not. But as of Wednesday, he has not. So that gives you an idea for the DNPs. Just to kind of make it a little bit quicker, I'll give you some of the fully participated. Jordan Love, left shoulder. He obviously went out, missed a play or two, or missed a drive basically with his shoulder injury after taking the hit that he took. Came back in, was able to play. Has him listed as a full participant, so obviously it doesn't seem like there's anything too major there. They just have to list it to be in compliance with the league rules. The other full participant is, I don't know if you want to call it fortunately, unfortunately, Brandon McManus. Obviously, Haversick has struggled against the Giants. But like I said in the game review with Brian, the weather had a lot to do with that. Even the Giants kicker was struggling kicking in that swirling wind. So was Haversick regressing, or was it just the weather that was causing him fits? But McManus is working his way back with his right quadricep that obviously he's been dealing with for a while. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I would probably throw Haversick out there one more time just to see what happens. And you can always go back to McManus after that. Now for the long list of things, the limited participants. So bear with me as I list through these things. Normally I would just let Mike rant on about it. So it's a little bit different for me to do this stuff. So you got Javon Bullard with an ankle, Edrin Cooper with a foot, Romeo Dobbs with his wrist, Matthew Golden with shoulder and wrist, Keyshawn Nixon with an illness, Micah Parsons with his pectoral, Zach Tom with the back, Lucas Van Ness is continuing to practice even if it is on a limited participation designation with his foot. Christian Watson is obviously going to be on it for probably the rest of the season with his knee, being he's coming back from such a major knee surgery. Dontavian Wicks with his calf, and that gives you an idea where we're at. It's not good, but a lot of them are going to be able to play because they've been dealing with these injuries for a while, and they are going to be on limited basis just to keep them healthy for this for the games heading or going forward. So the big thing is having both Edrin Cooper and Quay Walker hurt. Not ideal. And, those are your two starting inside linebackers. And, right now, we don't know what Tyron Hopper's got. We know what Isaiah McDuffie is. So it really, with that question mark, it's not great to see both your starting linebackers injured at the moment. I forgot to mention Christian Welch is in there too, and he's mainly used for special teams, but what we've seen from him in the preseason, both last year and this year, is there a possibility he can come in and play if need be? So that's it for the Packers injury report. Taking a look at Minnesota's, their DNPs was William Fries, however you want to pronounce his name, with a knee, and their linebacker Jonathan Grenard did not practice with a shoulder injury. Their full participations was Christian Darrisaw, Aaron Jones, and Ryan Kelly. So obviously they don't have as many injuries that they're dealing with, and they are getting some of their guys back, and I don't know if that's going to help them or not. Obviously Aaron Jones still has capability of being a solid playmaker, and that should help out JJ McCarthy, but that offense still does not look great. Close out some of these tabs here so I can communicate a little bit better here. Looking at some rankings, and I'm not very good at it, so again, normally I let Mike handle some of this stuff, but right now, like I said, their offense is not doing very well. They were starting Carson Wentz. JJ was starting, got injured. Wentz came in, got injured. JJ's back starting, and he's got 6 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, uh, for only 842 yards. So there are big question marks with him still. I mean, obviously he was a rookie last year, but he missed all of last year because of the knee injury. This year is kind of technically his rookie year, even though it is his second year in the league. The big thing is he's been sacked 15 times in his 5 games started. So if you can get to him, you can rattle him, and that's what the Packers defense really needs to do. Get to him, rattle him. Now, with that being said, the Vikings do have their weapons that if they can't rattle JJ has the weapons to be able to do some damage to the Packers defense and in some key spots that the Packers have struggled with. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, the corpse of Adam Thielen, and then looking at the running backs, they have Cam Akers, Jordan Mason, and of course, Aaron Jones. So Mason has been the key guy so far, but the Packers have, I know some people are saying they've struggled with the run game. Now, yes, against the Giants, they struggled against the run game, but they've been pretty solid when it comes to the run for most of the season. So try to get some of this stuff back up. I accidentally closed too many of them. Like I said, trying to do an episode by yourself is not great, but you do what you do when your co-host is not not feeling good. So I'm using AI to help me out with some of these talking points, but the Vikings on offense are 22nd when it comes to points per game, 24th when it comes to total offensive yards per game, 22nd in passing yards, 25th in rushing yards, and 32nd in time of possession per game, and 16th when it comes to points per play. Well, whatever on that one. But the big one there is if they're 32nd in time of possession, then that means they are giving up, or they are either scoring quick or getting off the field quick. And if the Packers defense can be stout, if our DBs can control Addison and Jefferson and Hawkinson, if our pass rush can get to McCarthy, if the run defense can hold up, which look, I'll pull up those stats here real quick. Packers are 6th in total yards allowed per game, 7th in points allowed, 10th in passing yards allowed per game, and 7th when it comes to rushing yards allowed per game. So if the Packers rushing defense can hold up, if their passing defense can hold up, there is no reason the Packers should lose this game. However, that being said, it's all going to depend on how the Packers offense can match up against the Vikings defense. Defensively, the Vikings are 16th in points allowed per game, 11th in total yards allowed per game, 7th in passing yards allowed per game, and 22nd in rushing yards allowed. They also rank 29th in interceptions and 13 in sacks. So they are having some success against quarterbacks, but they are struggling against the run. So as much as it pains me to say this, heavy doses of Josh Jacobs, heavy doses of Emmanuel Wilson, heavy doses of Chris Brooks. Push those guys. Hopefully the offensive line can hold up. Hopefully they get something figured out with that this offensive line can hold up a little bit better than they did against the Eagles and even somewhat with the Giants. I mean, they held up enough to let Jordan Love do what he needed to do, but it still didn't look great. It didn't pass the eye test, even though maybe some of the advanced stats say differently. But, offensively, the Packers are 13th in points per game, 13th in total offensive yards a game, 13th in passing yards, and 19th in rushing yards per game. So they're about mid pack, pardon the pun, mid pack of offensives in the league. So, like I said, I figured that you're going to see a ton of rushing attack, depending on what Josh Jacobs' health is. I should look at that real quick. I think they still have Pierre Strong Jr. on the practice squad, and that's it for running backs. Bear with me here. Yeah, they have Pierre Strong Jr. Still on their practice squad when it comes to running backs. So, I mean, if Jacobs is down, I figure that Pierre will be. They'll use one of his call-ups, and you'll see a heavy dose of all three of those guys. But really what it's going to come down to is that battle up front. Is the ramshackle offensive line of the Green Bay Packers going to be able to handle what the Minnesota Vikings defense can do to them? And it goes back to, again, the big question marks when it comes to injuries, because, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, 5 of your wide receivers are all on the injury report for some reason or another. So, can they come in healthy? Can they drive down the field? Will the offensive line give enough time for Jordan to throw? All those questions. And then you got Malik Heath. What's going on with Malik Heath? Obviously they've been pretty tight-lipped about it. It's not good when he gets left behind as a healthy scratch. Usually that's a disciplinary thing, and that means that speculation is he's not happy that Bo Melton is being used more than he is, which I can understand that, because you got a guy who's been a wide receiver, has been solid when he gets put out there, and both in run blocking and when he's called upon when it comes to receiving, versus a guy who is a former wide receiver but has been practicing as a corner since the off season. So there is questions there as why they would choose Melton over Heath. I get that Melton has more of a athletic profile than maybe Malik does, but Malik has been, in my opinion, and this could be biased because I am a Malik believer, that, there is a possibility that, or not possibility, in my belief, he's a better receiver than Bo Melton, even though Bo may have a better profile athletically. So lots of questions there, lots of injuries to deal with. What am I looking at time? I'm hoping to at least hit the 20 to 30 minute mark. So, like I said, by myself, not used to it, trying to get through things. But I'm not going to do any over-unders, because that I don't know, doesn't seem fitting when you don't have somebody else to go against on those things. But I do think that JJ is going to get pressured. I think Micah's going to get home. I know there's a big thing against Gary with the talk about limited snaps and stuff like that, but it is what it is with him. Maybe we can get Lucas back this week. And, again, the injury reports on Thursday and Friday are going to be big tells on who's going to be in and out for Sunday's game. But, get Lucas back, get the three-headed monster back when it comes to the pass rush. Not that Enagbare has been bad, but, he's limited in what he can do, and go from there. Now, speaking of returns, Jaden Reed did kind of tease out something on his social media, so maybe he'll be back sooner than later. I really don't know if it'll be for this game or not. But keep an eye out for that. You've still got guys like and LaFleur kind of said that Marshawn Lloyd is looking, things are looking better for him right now. So maybe we're going to see Marshawn Lloyd return pretty soon. And you've got Brenton Cox that he's on injured reserve. We're, not sure what's going on there, if he's healthy enough to come back or not. And then you got guys like Colin Oliver and John Williams that are still on the PUP list. I'm not sure what the rules are on that, but I think they have to be, I don't know, maybe they can ride the PUP all season, but I wouldn't think so. I'd have to, that's another disadvantage of not having Mike here, that we can't bounce that back and forth with each other. But, it is what it is. You've got to get something figured out. You've got to get to JJ. You got to make him make mistakes. And at the end of it, you got to believe the Packers can come out with a victory on this one. But again, with the way the Packers season has been going so far this year, who knows what's going to happen? All you can do is hope. All you can do is play the game. I know it's so cliche, but any given Sunday, let's ride it out. This is going to be, what is it? It's like 3 games in 12 days or something like that. So they go from Minnesota, or they home against Minnesota, to away at Detroit, and then back home against Chicago. So there's going to be a tough stretch just right there in those 3 games. Chicago has been playing better, but who knows what they can do. Detroit obviously is in a place where they want to get revenge for week 1. Again, get to JJ, come out of the game healthy. Offensive line step up, whether they reshuffle it or not. Do your job, execute properly. LaFleur needs to call a good game. Don't let up. If you're scoring at will, score at will. I would rather see you guys win 55-0 than another 27-20 game. And let's go on from there. So that's all I basically got for you guys. I know Mike would usually go on his long rants, but I'm not quite as long-winded as Mike is when it comes to those things. But, make sure you go over, check out our website. I know we haven't been as active over there as we have in the past, but, go over, check out some of the stuff going on over there. Maybe I'll make Mike write something up since he's missed the last 2 episodes. But go over, check out all those past articles, past episodes. Click the shop button. Go over, check out our merchandise. Help support the podcast by, buying merchandise. Somewhere around here, I got my Soul Stealer shirt. We've got the Tucker Craft shirt. We've got a couple Micah Parsons shirts. Go over, get you some merch, shirts, hoodies, mugs, pint glasses. Starting to put some hats out there. Go over, get you something. Rep the Ohana Packers Edition podcast. Help spread the word, so we can get more people in and do the things you guys want us to do. Drop us comments, like, subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Let us know what you think. Are we doing a bad job? Are we doing a good job? Drop us whatever you want. Like I said, Sunday, say something like, I like turtles, then I can be like, yeah, I like turtles too, man. I'm especially Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are amazing. I like cookies, obviously, I'm a big guy. I like food. Just drop us whatever you want over there. Just say something. Let us know that you're actually out there listening. Be on the lookout. We are going to be doing some giveaways here pretty soon. I'm waiting on some stuff to come in. then we can really start pushing the giveaways. But if you want to get a jump on things, go over and follow us on Facebook, Ohana Packers Edition over on Facebook. We're going to do some drives to help push us to the 100 follower mark on Facebook so we can start doing live streams over there. Also going to start pushing for followers on YouTube just so we can start building up over there. So there are going to be 2 drives here pretty soon as soon as I get the stuff together for giveaways. So be on the lookout for that. Follow us on the Elon Machine at Ohana Packers or Ohana_Packers. Follow me on, I'm on Twitter and I'm on Blue Sky, Iowa _Joe86 on Elon Machine, and it's just Iowa Joe.bsk.app over on Blue Sky. Instagram's Ohana Packers Edition. YouTube is Ohana Packers. Be sure to go over, follow us on everything. We try to follow back. We try to interact as much as we can. I'm totally rambling at this point, but I also want to give a shout out to John Del Rey. Again, he's opened up a memorabilia shop in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. If you are looking for things, I know he said he's going to get a website up here pretty soon where you can purchase stuff from the site. But if you're ever in Sheboygan, go over check John at Clubhouse Sports. Get you some merchandise from over there, signed stuff, photos, canvases, stuff like that. John's a good guy, helping us out with some things. He's donated something for the giveaways. Like I said, once we get it all together, we'll start giving information on that. But check him out. Give him a follow on his socials, Facebook, and all that stuff. And if you're ever in Sheboygan, stop by and check him out. I would tell you to mention that you heard about it from us, but he'd probably charge you double for it. So I wouldn't mention us. So I think I'm done rambling. As Mike would say, go pack, go, and aloha.